Okay, let's start from scratch. The first is that you're gonna Google the SAS University Edition, and you will find there is a link to the installation page, and you just click this and get free software. And you have three options. Basically, it is asking what computer you're using. So if you're using a Mac, you should click this. All right, congratulations, you're using a more expensive but less useful machine. Yeah, but it's fancy anyway. So mine is lucky because I'm using the Windows system. I just click Windows, and basically there are 4 steps to follow to install that. The first thing is to install a thing called virtualization software. Virtualization software. So sorry. So you don't have to understand this crap. Just follow the instructions and download this. Click this download VirtualBox for Windows, and it's gonna switch to another page where it's another tag in Chrome. Actually, your installation steps are still there. It's just open up another tag, and basically it says that you should choose between an old version of 5.2 and 6. So why I have to use the older version? This is because maybe your computer is using an old version. So how do I know that my computer is using an old version? Well, in Windows 10, you just click this search button and type this PC. Okay. I just click this button and type this PC, and you will see that it pops up as this PC, and on the right there is a property. Just click on it and it will tell you that what system you're using, which is in my case Windows 10, and here is the system type. It says 64. So I'm fine. I don't have to use that old version. But if you see a 32-bit there on that screen, then you probably have to use that. Okay, I'm just going to proceed and click on this to have the Windows version of this VirtualBox. And it's going to ask me where to save this installation file. In my case, I'm just going to put it on the desktop and click Save. The file is about like 100 megabytes, 200 megabytes. It's not a big file, and it's super fast to download it. And then once it's downloaded, and then you double click to open it, or just follow all the instructions. Click next, and if it says yes, just click yes. If there is an OK, just click OK to follow through the whole installation process. Don't change anything. Once the installation is done, then you will see that this window, which is a manager window, will pop up, and also you will see a shortcut. So if you don't see this this window, just double click the shortcut to open it. So I'm going to pause here and ask you guys a question. Have you ever used a VirtualBox on a virtual machine before on your computer? Well, if your answer is no, then you are lucky, because you're going to have more troublesome stuff to deal with. Because by default, your computer does not allow to use a virtual machine. So you have to change that, and you have to make some changes which is called BIOS, in BIOS of your computer. So how to change that? The first is that you should figure out how to restart your computer and change the thing called BIOS. All right. So if you are using a Windows 10, you can follow this web page, and it's gonna tell you, just follow all the steps. It sounds scary. It says recovery, but if you follow the instructions, it is not going to like indeed recover and delete anything on your computer. No, it's not going to do that. Basically, it just restart your computer and allowed you to make changes for the BIOS settings. But very importantly, when you follow through all of these instructions, there is a critical page here on this screen. So you're gonna say two things. The first is reset this PC. The second is advanced options. So this is really, really important. Don't click that reset this PC button. So I don't know what's going to happen, and perhaps it's going to remove everything on your computer and reinstall everything. So don't click this button. Just click the advanced option and then click this, and then the system is going to restart, and you will be able to change the BIOS. So what kind of change should I make in this BIOS? So actually, it is try to fix the VirtualBox stuff where it says the hardware acceleration is not available error. So there is a YouTube video by this guy, which is quite straightforward. You guys can watch it through and you will know how to change it. So after all of that, restart your computer and you're good to use this VirtualBox. Okay, now suppose that we're all good. We make the change in the BIOS. Your computer is still there. Your system is there. Your files are not removed in a word that you didn't screw up. Then we're back. And then we're gonna follow the second step of that installation. Now we've downloaded this VirtualBox. We don't need this page. We're gonna go back to the installation steps. Okay, so before the second step, it says that you should have a folder to hold your SAS documents. Well, the first is that select a place on your local drive to hold this box, and then I'm gonna follow exactly the instruction says. That it says that first you should have a folder of the same name here. So I'm gonna create a folder. Create a folder and name it exactly the same as instructed. And also inside, I'm gonna have a folder called My Folders. Okay, I'm gonna create the folder and use exactly the same name. Okay. So now I finished the step 1 and I can proceed to step 2. Step 2 is to download the SAS University Edition. Just click this button and you will be led to this page, and basically you need to sign in using your SAS profile. If you don't have one, you are going to create the SAS file. I'm gonna save this part because there are a lot of videos and resources that you can search to create this profile. But anyway, I have this profile. I just go ahead and it's gonna log in. But sometimes in Chrome it happens that for the SAS website is a totally black screen. Doesn't matter, just click that URL again, and you will be led to click that web address again, and it will lead you to the page. And basically it says that you have to agree everything, otherwise I won't let you use this. So you're gonna agree on anything, and then you will see that you're gonna have an order which is free, and just hit download it and save it to the local disk. And in my case, I'm gonna save it on my desktop and click save. Alright, so the download is gonna take a while. The file itself is about 2 gigabytes. So after downloading that, just double click to open it, and you can see that this is slightly different from what is instructed here. So in the instruction it says you should follow this step, but actually the simplest way is just to double click it. So the computer is going to take care of the rest of that, and you just hit that import button, and that's all. Well, if you're going to say no, I have to follow this dumb instructions, it's also, yeah, it's doable. So you just double click that virtual box shortcut to open it, and then in the files you're gonna select import appliance, and then you're gonna browse. In my case it is on my desktop. Then I click this university version installation file and click next. The same thing, I'm gonna lead to this place, and I'm gonna import it. Okay, so the import process is gonna take a while, a couple of minutes. Once it is done, you will see that the SAS University Edition will pop up here. All right, so if you don't select that SAS University Edition, you will see that the machines, the stuff is great here. But if you select that, then it's going to change. Then you can click on the machine and do the further settings. So very important here, if you don't select that, if you go to the machine, you will see nothing. But if you select the SAS University and go to the machine again, it's going to change, and now you can do settings. I think there is a selection called settings. So just follow the instructions here to add the folders, because in the future you're gonna put your files on these folders. Right, so the settings, and you're gonna select the share folders, and there is no folders here, so you have to add one, and you're gonna browse to the folders you just created in step 2. Remember, step 1. Remember. All right, so in my case the folder is here. I just navigate to this folder and select, and then here uncheck this read-only box, but do check this auto mounted box, and then select OK, and then select OK. Done. Now we're good to move to the final step to use that SAS thing. To do so, make sure that the SAS University Edition is selected, and then click this Start button.